Living with a narcissist is hard for everyone or anyone, but when you grow up with one, it can affect your life in significant ways. And when that narcissist is your mother, it can change your whole life. That's what we're talking about today. Today we're going to talk about moms and how sometimes when they're narcissists, they kind of ruin our lives. So let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel, I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. If that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. But first, do you have your coffee? Today I'm using this awesome Rockbridge cup, which we talked about before. Rockbridge, Missouri is a place my family likes to go and do their little fishing thing while I pretend like I'm not there. But I want to show you this other cup that I got yesterday from my office manager and friend, Melina. See, it says, "Today is a great day." Today is going to be a great day. I think it's really cute and I really like it. It's ginormous though, as you can see in comparison to a regular coffee cup. So I didn't want to use it today because I thought, I don't need to drink quite that much coffee at once. But maybe tomorrow is Saturday. A lot of people have asked me to talk about what it is that narcissistic mothers do to their children in the long run. And I think there's a good reason for that, because a lot of times when we find ourselves with narcissists in our lifetimes, it's because we were raised by either a narcissistic mother or father. Now, there are plenty of narcissistic fathers out there, as we all know, but narcissistic mothers have a kind of different way of going about things than your everyday average narcissist. Would you agree? Let's start right here. Why does a woman who is a narcissist have children in the first place? Well, it's not because she wants to love and nurture the child, believe it or not, and grow them into a healthy individual who can be successful on their own terms or something like that. In fact, she has children because, in a way, she needs reassurance in herself. She needs to feed her ego. She needs to have someone who will do her bidding and have someone who she can live through in some cases. I don't know that a woman begins to have a child this way. I don't know that that's her intention when she starts out. I think in her mind, a narcissistic mother thinks, well, if I have children, that will be someone who loves me. So up to a point, most parents, when their children are young, they do tend to experience children as narcissistic extensions of themselves. But at some point, healthy parents let go of that feeling. The goal of raising kids is to teach them how to fulfill themselves and not to teach them to fulfill your own agenda. I work really hard with my kids personally to ensure that they have their own personalities. And what I mean by that is, if they say, "Oh, Mom, I'm going to be a writer like you," or "Oh, Mom, I'm going to do this like you," I say, "Well, is that something you really want? Because you don't have to be just like me. You're your own individual person. What are you into?" And if they want to be a writer, great, but I don't want them to want to be a writer or a coach or whatever just because I do those things. Children should be permitted to grow up and be themselves, and not just permitted, but encouraged. What is it that a narcissistic mother does to a child that's different in that way? There's a quote by Daniel Woods Winnicott that I find really, really interesting here. I'm going to read it to you. "The mother gazes at the baby in her arms, and the baby gazes at his mother's face and finds himself therein, provided that the mother is really looking at the unique, small, helpless being and not projecting her own expectations, fears, and plans for the child. In that case, the child would find himself not in his mother's face, but rather in his mother's own projections. The child would remain without a mirror, and for the rest of his life would be seeking this mirror in vain." Isn't that fascinating? Let me ask you a question. Do you have a narcissistic mother? How do you know if you have a narcissistic mother? Bottom line, in a narcissistic mother, everybody in the outside world might just think she's amazing and awesome. But as a child and as an adult, you knew your mother, and you know your mother as someone who might be really self-centered, might be kind of touchy and brittle and, oh, poor her, easily angered. And of course, she's always correct. She's always right about everything. She is probably loved by her friends and colleagues, and she hasn't shown them her true self. They don't know the same mom that you know. Your narcissistic mother might offer you a little love and support every now and then, but unfortunately, it is quite unpredictable and quite punctuated by generally control. She wants to control everything that you're doing. You might always find yourself walking on eggshells. Most of the time, her children decide to just please her and hope they can get whatever they can. Now, sometimes you've got your children who can't stop talking. They can't stop telling the truth, and that never goes well for them. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about on this one. Let me just be clear, though. Most successful people are not narcissists. Now, there are plenty of them out there, obviously, but a narcissist psychologically is built to try to get attention, whether it's because they're beautiful, they're smart, they're charismatic, they're rich. I think most people in the world have a certain amount of that in them, and some people have narcissistic traits, but healthy people put their kids first. They reorient their behavior. They change their behavior when they're raising kids. Healthy mothers come home and they support their children after work, after school. They don't control their children. Narcissistic mothers always control and try to get attention from and about their children, even at home. If you had a narcissistic mother, you might have found that she didn't have a lot of patience. She didn't have any empathy. She didn't want you to be independent. It's ongoing. It's a process. It's a pain. If you had a narcissistic mother, the best thing that you can do is heal yourself, grow yourself, and do better for your own children. Break that toxic cycle, because the fact is she probably also had a narcissistic person in her life. It's a cycle. Change it. Break it. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I want you to do for your kids if you have them. I'm going to wrap up for right now. I will see you guys later today for another video, and listen, stay tuned, because I have a big, huge, exciting announcement that will especially affect people who need help and can't afford help with getting through this stuff. Stay tuned for that later today. All right, I'll see you soon. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life, and hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body, take care of your soul, nurture the real you, and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.